Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we are in Windermere, Florida, and we've got a fun problem to work on. Something that a homeowner could easily do themselves, just takes a little bit of time. What we're dealing with is, so we're working on a screened lanai, a screened enclosure, and what happens is when it rains, water just comes across here and just fills up the area. It can't get through to get out to the low spot out here by the lake. The homeowner did drill 3 drains. He did a real nice job. He drilled down through the concrete. He put a 4-inch pipe, I don't know how deep, maybe 4 or 6 feet deep, put some gravel down there. He did it in all 3 of these. There's 3 of them. Unfortunately, when groundwater rises, that water trying to come in from the lanai has no place to go, and it flooded. It flooded so bad that they actually drilled a hole in the aluminum right there because it gets that deep. So it's pretty bad problem. Originally, he wanted to put a micro channel drain all the way across here. Very costly, somewhere $3,800 to do that. And gave it some thought. And I think the best solution here is actually we can tunnel underneath of the patio, cut that pipe, and send those discharges out. If you can see how much drop there is here, there's tremendous fall to get this out there. So that's our new plan, something a little different, and should be a little bit more fun than a regular trench. Something you guys could easily do yourselves if you wanted to give it a try. So to start with, what we've done is exposed, down to the pipe, and you can see underneath it here pretty well. Joe did a great job of getting things underneath. We've got a lot of obstacles in the way. You can see there's 2 sprinkler lines. There's also the irrigation control line, another line over there. But we're right underneath of the foundation, and that's the pipe that goes down into the ground. What we're going to do is take the Sawzall, cut that off, and we'll put a 90 on there, and we'll send that pipe this way out to the lake. Do that 3 times. So again, something that the homeowner could easily do themselves. It's just, it does take a little bit of labor, a little bit of tunneling. So the tools needed here, you need the regular 8-inch round spade, and we like to use our sharpshooter. This is 16 inches by 6 inches wide, and these little spade shovels, they work really good. You can have a little bit more maneuverability. They're real strong wooden handles. These are all available at Lowe's, or I think they're at Home Depot too, but Lowe's is where they have most of the better drainage parts, so that's where we get all of our stuff. Anyways, go ahead and start digging. You cut off your sod, set that sod off to the side, and then you go ahead and start to do your tunnel and your mound. Okay, so we're over here in Joe's trench, a little bit wider, but still the same. We're going to go ahead and make a cut here at the bottom. There was groundwater in this one. You can see that water coming right out. Flooded up real quick. See all that water that came out. Now we're going to make another cut up here so we can remove this section. And then we'll put a 90 on it, and we'll be able to bring that water out this direction. Let's make the second cut. Perfect. Yeah, third cut's always the best. See how much more straight that is. Still a little crooked, but looking really good. But get a better 90 on there. So let's go ahead and get that third 90 on there. But again, it hasn't rained for several days, and you can see how much groundwater there is here. Trying to put water into the ground as groundwater rises in your dry well, that has no place to go. Water just comes up, up, up. You try to put more water in it, it can't go anywhere. It will flood. So you can see we went ahead and put that 90 on there. Just come down here. And now we're ready to just keep trenching. Joe's taking this deeper as we go through. But we still have plenty of fall to catch up. You can see how deep that goes down. And it's just going to discharge to daylight with a little pop-up or a grate. We like to use a grate. Okay, so now we're going to fit this T, and what I do is I make a measurement with the T, just set the T on top of there, and we're going to take the hacksaw and cut it off to the end of the coupling right here. We'll make that cut, Remember, I'm trying to do this with one hand, so hang in there. Just push the other line out of the way, and you can snap this T in place. You'll actually hear it snap when it goes on. And that way you know it's connected. Same thing here. We'll bring that line over and tie them together. Out here at the discharge, we're going to use a thin wall PVC and adapt it to this corrugated. This is the point of discharge. Remember, this is not a plumbing drain. This is a yard drain. It's just rainwater drainage. It doesn't matter if it leaks. You don't want it to leak a lot, but it doesn't really matter. So cut it off the length. We'll cut it back a little further here, right here. And even though there's adapters available, they all do the same thing. We can either go on the outside of this pipe or the inside of this pipe. I like to go on the inside. What I do, there's a green line on the top. It's nice to follow that. Put a little slice in it. Just about 3-4 inches. Squeeze it together. Then we'll slide it inside here. And again, using set screws, we'll screw that together and put a piece of tape around that, and we're all set. So finally, when you're backfilling, especially on this job, we've tunneled underneath there. Remember that there's a 4-inch SDR pipe that comes through the concrete. We want to make sure that we pull this pipe up, that pipe does not come out of that concrete. That's why we got to be careful. And you should be careful too when you backfill. Make sure that that line stays up. So you can see, even for a smaller job, you can see the excavation. We're pretty deep, so we've got a pretty good amount of soil going on here. But again, you could do this yourself. One person might take them 4 hours, where it takes us an hour and a half. But it's something that you could definitely do yourself and save thousands of dollars. Tunneling underneath the sidewalk is underneath of the patio is a great idea. And I remember asking the homeowner, does the water come to these drains when it rains? And he swears it does. So hopefully that's the case, which I'm sure that it does, and he doesn't have to put a channel drain in here because it's so costly. So cleanup, we happen to not use our tarps today, but if you lay your tarp out, this becomes much easier. But in this type of grass, this is called St. Augustine, you can see when you rake it, a lot of it, you pull a lot of it, but most of it just disappears, and you get all that up onto your trench. I would put all the dirt up on the trench first, and then haul your excess away before you put your sod on. Makes cleanup a lot easier. First rain, all the excess soil that you see, a little bit of sand, that's just going to disappear. Same thing over here where Chuck's digging or covering it up. It's looking really good. Notice he's bringing all that soil up onto the trench first. And then you go back with your shovel and you can take away the correct amount to put your sod back on. And then one more final scrape with your rake, sometimes upside down. But the secret is not to try to drag the rake. See how he's lifting it? Little tiny strokes, you lift it, because in this type of grass, it's a vine, and your rake just gets stuck. But with a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, you can put your yard right back to where it started. So again, with a little bit of effort, you can put your yard back pretty well. We like to still, even though we've worked a little bit extra on here, we do like to leave these mounds a little bit high because it's got to settle. So we left it about 2 inches high, put back all the lava stone, lava rock, and put back the edging. Now we're just kind of touching it up. First rainfall, all this excess dirt that you see on top of your grass is going to disappear. But everything's looking really good. Let's go check this drain. Oh yeah, it's already filled up to the top of the grate. Remember that even though there's a 4-inch 90, which means it comes up a little way, so there's actually a 4-inch rise right here, we're still well below that patio. I mean, if you can see my camera, that should disappear, and it does. We're well below the top of that patio, so water has to drain no matter what. And you can see it starting to come out here. Remember, it had to fill up that pipe 4 inches in order for it to come out, and that's normal. Won't matter if it's up north, even if it freezes, when it unthaws, it's going to work great. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.